On her third day riding the bus, quiet foster kid Harper Mills becomes the target of bullies Preston and Jake, until she calmly reveals she's not prey at all, but a federal witness protection asset tied to major crime syndicate takedowns. Within minutes, her countdown turns the bullies' threats into live-streamed confessions, sparking a federal raid that rips open decades of corruption hidden inside their school. But Harper isn't done. She's hunting the entire syndicate network, one city and one school at a time. On the quiet morning of Harper Mills' third day on her bus, she felt like a tiny speck in an endless sea of faces. The bustling city hummed with activity, but there was something off about it. A sense of unease settled over her as she watched the school children rush past, their laughter and chatter drowned out by the constant clatter of footsteps. Harper's heart throbbed as she scanned the crowd for any sign of danger. Suddenly, one boy caught her eye. Preston, a tall and lean individual with piercing blue eyes, stood straightened up from his seat, scanning the aisle in front of him with intensity. Jake, on the other hand, was shorter than Harper but equally intimidating. His broad shoulders and muscular build made him appear tough as nails. As they approached the bus's door, Harper felt a wave of panic wash over her. What if she revealed herself to these bullies? How would it affect her life forever? She had always been known for being quiet and reserved, and this sudden exposure could have dire consequences. But instead, she made a silent decision to stand tall and face the boys. "Excuse me," Harper said softly, trying to keep her voice steady. "I'm not here to cause any trouble or speak out against you guys." Preston raised an eyebrow at her words before turning around and scanning the group again. Jake followed his gaze too, but he didn't seem as interested in her as Preston. "I thought we were friends," Harper said, trying to sound casual. "You two are just bullies who need to be stopped." The boys' eyes narrowed in response, their faces twisted with anger and amusement at the same time. Preston raised his hand triumphantly, signaling for them all to quiet down. "Please listen," he growled menacingly. "We can't let Harper ruin our reputation or become a target of this criminal organization that's been operating within your school." Jake stepped forward, his eyes narrowing even further. He sneered as he glared at the other boys and said, "You don't have the right to speak for them without their permission. We've got proof they're involved in illegal activities and need to be taken down." Harper felt a chill run through her spine as she realized that these bullies were not afraid of her or the law. They knew how powerful she was. She had been protected from harm by the government's witness protection program, but now their target was anyone who dared challenge them. Preston gestured to Jake for him to continue speaking. "We're part of a network that operates across this city, taking down corrupt politicians and business leaders who've been involved in illegal activities like drug trafficking, money laundering, and human smuggling." Jake hesitated for a moment before continuing with his speech, his voice low but firm. "We know about the secret school you attend, Harper. Your parents have told us that it's a safe haven where no one can harm you or your siblings because of their involvement in these illegal activities. But we also know that this isn't just a shelter. It's a front for our organization." Harper felt her stomach twist at his words. She couldn't believe the depth and breadth of the criminal network they were part of. It was like nothing she had ever seen before, with powerful connections and resources that went far beyond the school. Jake's words sent chills down Harper's spine as he continued. "The organization has a wealth of illegal assets in this city, from drug labs to stolen cars to weapons caches. We've been tracking them for years, but they always seem to move around just enough to avoid detection." Harper felt her heart racing with fear and determination. She couldn't let these bullies continue their twisted game. She had to take down the organization once and for all. "You know who I am," Harper said slowly. "I'm a witness protection asset specifically involved in the takedowns of major criminal organizations. Preston's expression hardened as he narrowed his eyes at her, sensing her vulnerability. "I've been through hell trying to protect you from these criminals," she continued. "But it's not enough. We need more than just your cover and some vague stories about corruption. We want justice for those who were, and you're going to be part of that process." Jake stepped forward again, his grip on the armrest tense. "You can't stop us now," he growled. "We've got proof this school is involved in these illegal activities. It's not just a rumor. We're willing to do whatever it takes to bring down the entire organization and make things right for all those who were affected." Harper felt her resolve growing stronger by each word they spoke. She couldn't let them continue their reign of terror any longer, even if it meant risking everything she had. With that in mind, Harper stepped forward again, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. She knew the risks involved, but she was determined to uncover the truth and bring down the criminal organization once and for all. On her third day riding the bus, quiet foster kid Harper Mills became the target of bullies Preston and Jake, until she calmly reveals she's not prey at all, but a federal witness protection asset tied to major crime syndicate takedowns. Her journey as a witness started in college when a fellow student stumbled upon an illegal gambling operation on campus that was headed by a notorious criminal organization. Harper had always been aware of the dangers lurking around her, especially after witnessing the brutal violence committed by members of the gang. She knew that she couldn't trust anyone, not even close friends and family, as they too could fall victim to their corrupt ways. This led Harper to seek refuge in a federal witness protection program, WPP, arranged by the Department of Justice. The WPP was designed to protect witnesses from physical harm, emotional distress, and other threats while providing them with safety and security during legal proceedings. Over time, as she delved deeper into her investigation, Harper uncovered evidence that the gambling operation had links to a larger criminal network involved in drug trafficking, human smuggling, and money laundering. The syndicate's operations spanned across several states, including Texas, California, and New York. Harper knew that bringing down this powerful organization would not be easy, but she was determined to make it happen. Jake, the head of the WPP for the local school district where Harper attended, recognized her potential as a valuable asset in his team. He assigned her to work on an investigation into a string of high-profile cases involving students from the same school who had reported suspicious activities and financial transactions that suggested they were linked to the gambling operation. The first case was a student named Taylor who claimed she had been approached by several members of the gang at lunchtime one day. She had heard whispers about their illegal operations and suspected them of being involved in her friend's involvement with a drug dealer from New York. The fact that Taylor didn't report to school authorities or seek help from local law enforcement only fueled Harper's suspicion. Upon further investigation, Harper discovered that the gambling operation was using the student housing on campus as a makeshift base for their operations. They would often sneak in and watch over students' phones at night, while they carried out transactions with drug dealers and other criminal activities. Taylor's testimony helped Harper piece together the intricate web of corruption within the school district. As she continued to gather evidence, Harper also uncovered that several teachers had been victims of sexual misconduct by members of the gang. She confronted them about their actions, but was met with disbelief and retaliation from the organization. These incidents only served to strengthen her resolve to bring down the criminal empire once and for all. The team at Jake's office worked tirelessly to gather evidence, build a case against the syndicate, and secure witness protection status for Harper. They delved into the school's financial records, conducted interviews with students and teachers, and analyzed surveillance footage from various locations within the district. The team also reached out to law enforcement agencies in other states where they had information about the operation. Their efforts paid off when a tip-off led them to a hidden underground lair belonging to one of the gang members responsible for Taylor's allegations against him. There, they uncovered evidence linking the gambling operation to drug trafficking and money laundering rings that spanned across multiple states. Harper was shocked by what she had stumbled upon, but knew it wasn't just about stopping the criminal organization alone. It also meant bringing justice for those affected by their actions. The group of students who reported suspicious activities, teachers, and students who faced sexual misconduct were no longer in danger. They now had a platform to share their stories and seek redress against the injustices committed. As they worked tirelessly to bring down the syndicate, Harper discovered that her journey as a witness was far from over. She met with numerous individuals who had been victims of the criminal organization's violence, including parents whose children were taken by members of the gang for protection purposes. They shared their stories, detailing how the operation impacted them and the trauma they had experienced. The team at Jake's office worked tirelessly to secure the safety of these individuals while also ensuring that their voices were heard in court. After months of hard work, Harper was granted witness protection status by a federal judge who deemed her testimony crucial in the case against the gang's leader and other key figures within the organization. As she prepared for the trial, Harper knew that this was just one step towards bringing down the criminal empire. She also had to confront the trauma of what she had experienced on campus, knowing that it would take time for some students and teachers to come forward with their own stories. The day finally arrived when Harper stood before a jury in a federal court hearing, delivering her testimony against the gang's leader and other members. The courtroom erupted in applause as they listened to Harper's account of the operation and its impact on countless individuals within the school district. While the trial was ongoing, Harper received news that one of the key witnesses had come forward with more evidence linking their involvement with the gambling operation. With this new information, Harper knew she could rest easy knowing that justice would be served for those affected by their actions once again. The outcome of the trial marked a significant victory for the group of students who reported suspicious activities and teachers faced sexual misconduct within the school district. The syndicate's leader was found guilty in federal court, and he faces life imprisonment as part of his sentence. Many of the victims were granted financial compensation, allowing them to move on from their experiences with justice. As Harper sat across from her former classmates after the trial, she couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and gratitude for having played a role in bringing down one of the most powerful criminal organizations within the country's reach. She knew that her journey as a witness would never truly end, but it was a chapter in the fight against corruption and injustice that had been long overdue. For Harper Mills, this day marked not just the closure of an individual case, but also a new beginning. The experience had taught her valuable lessons about resilience, strength, and the power of speaking truth to power. She knew that she would always be ready for whatever challenges lay ahead as she continued on her journey towards justice and a better future for herself and those who were impacted by crime in all its forms. Global outline. 1. Harper Mills, a quiet foster kid with 3 days of riding the bus, becomes the target of bullies Preston and Jake. 2. As she sits across from her former classmates after the trial for their involvement in a major crime syndicate takedowns, Harper realizes that justice is not just about punishing perpetrators, but also acknowledging the victims' experiences and helping them heal. 3. The leader of the criminal organization was found guilty by federal court and sentenced to life imprisonment as part of his sentence. Many victims were compensated with financial assistance, enabling them to move on from their harrowing experiences with justice. 4. Harper's newfound sense of pride in her role in bringing down one of the most powerful criminal organizations within the country serves as a reminder that even small actions can have far-reaching consequences when it comes to fighting against corruption and injustice. 5. As she reflects on this day, Harper is humbled by the impact her testimony had not only on those directly affected, but also on her community at large. She knows that justice has always been a long-awaited victory for many who lived through their harrowing experiences of violence and exploitation. 6. However, Harper's journey towards healing and reuniting with former classmates is far from over. The lessons she learned during the trial have instilled in her an unwavering belief in the power of resilience, strength, and speaking truth to power. 7. Despite her newfound sense of purpose, Harper remains acutely aware that there are still many others out there who have been affected by crime and injustice. As a witness protection asset, she is committed to using her platform to raise awareness about these issues and advocate for systemic change within the justice system. 8. Through regular appearances on local news programs and community forums, Harper shares her experiences with victims, their stories, and the challenges they face in navigating the aftermath of crime. She empowers others by encouraging them to speak up against injustice and fighting for what is right. 9. As Harper continues her work as a witness protection asset, she remains vigilant about protecting herself from potential retaliation or harm from those who might seek to exploit or silence her. This includes staying connected with trusted allies in the community and maintaining an active online presence, where she shares updates on her experiences and advocacy efforts. 10. Despite the challenges of living under constant surveillance and danger, Harper's dedication to speaking truth has earned her a dedicated following among those who believe that justice should always prevail over power and corruption. She continues to inspire others by embodying courage, perseverance, and compassion in the face of adversity. 11. As Harper prepares for an upcoming trial, she is acutely aware of how important it is for individuals like herself to stay vigilant and continue speaking out against injustice. With a renewed sense of purpose, Harper's journey towards justice becomes not just one of vindication, but also a testament to her unwavering commitment to ensuring that victims are taken care of and the fight against crime continues. 12. As she sits across from her former classmates during the trial for their involvement in the major criminal organization takedowns once again, Harper takes comfort knowing that justice has been served not just for them, but also for countless others who have suffered under its shadow. Though the chapter may be complete, her journey towards healing and reuniting with these victims continues to inspire a new wave of resilience and determination within her community. E&E Global Outline. Harper Mills, a quiet foster kid with an unassuming personality and a passion for justice, is on her third day riding the bus when she becomes the target of bullies Preston and Jake. This encounter sets off a chain reaction that leads to her becoming a key witness protection asset tied to major crime syndicate takedowns. Harper's life takes a dramatic turn when she discovers a shocking truth. She has been falsely accused of involvement in illegal activities, including drug trafficking and money laundering, which have led to the destruction of lives and families. Despite this information, she remains determined to clear her name and expose the truth about what really happened. Harper's journey towards justice becomes not just one of vindication, but also a testament to her unwavering commitment to ensuring that victims are taken care of and the fight against crime continues. She works tirelessly behind closed doors with law enforcement agencies, using her knowledge of criminal networks and intelligence gathered from various sources to build strong cases against her former classmates. As she prepares for an upcoming trial in a federal court, Harper's determination is palpable. Despite facing countless obstacles along the way, including threats and intimidation, she remains determined to prove beyond any doubt that she did not commit these crimes. She takes on the role of advocate, using her voice and platform to raise awareness about the dangers of organized crime and to encourage others to stand up against injustice. Asterisk as the trial begins. Harper's presence is a source of comfort for those present in court. Her unwavering commitment to justice resonates with everyone who hears from her, inspiring them to believe that even when faced with adversity, they can overcome any obstacle and make their voices heard. Asterisk the trial becomes a test not just of Harper's legal skills, but also of her ability to navigate the complex world of organized crime. She faces intense scrutiny and pressure from those in power, who are determined to silence anyone who threatens to expose them or undermine their operations. Asterisk despite these challenges, Harper remains steadfast in her commitment to justice. Her unwavering belief in the importance of taking on the fight against corruption inspires others to join her cause, forming a powerful network of advocates and activists who stand together to protect victims and hold those responsible accountable for their actions. Asterisk as the trial unfolds, Harper's journey becomes even more intense as she navigates the treacherous world of organized crime. She faces countless obstacles, including threats from within the justice system itself, as well as attempts by her former classmates to sabotage her efforts or cover up evidence against them. Asterisk in a dramatic turn of events, Harper discovers that one of her former classmates is actually behind the corruption and drug trafficking activities she was accused of involvement in. With this information, she confronts him directly and exposes his true handiwork during a tense meeting with law enforcement agents. Asterisk the revelation not only sets off a chain reaction, but also leads to the dismantling of one of the most powerful criminal networks on the planet. Harper's actions have brought an end to these illegal activities once and for all, restoring justice and protecting countless lives from harm. Asterisk as the trial concludes with her conviction in full, Harper is hailed as a hero by her community. Her unwavering commitment to justice and determination inspire others to stand up against injustice, leading to a new wave of resilience and strength within their own communities. Asterisk though the chapter may be complete, Harper's journey towards healing and reuniting with those victims continues to inspire a new generation. She uses her platform as an advocate for justice to raise awareness about the importance of taking on corruption and fighting against organized crime, inspiring others to follow in her footsteps and make their voices heard. Asterisk as she looks back on her life's journey, Harper reflects on all that has happened since becoming a witness protection asset tied to major crime syndicate takedowns. She knows that her path is not over yet, as there are countless other victims who need her help and support in fighting against the forces of corruption and injustice. Asterisk with renewed determination and purpose, Harper continues to work tirelessly behind closed doors with law enforcement agencies, using her knowledge and expertise to uncover new leads and build strong cases against those responsible for their actions. Her journey towards justice is a long one, but she remains committed to ensuring that victims are taken care of and the fight against crime never truly ends. Asterisk the end on her third day riding the bus. Quiet foster kid Harper Mills becomes a target of bullies Preston and Jake, until she calmly reveals that she not prey at all, but a federal witness protection asset tied to major crime syndicate takedowns. This revelation changes everything for Harper. From that fateful moment on, Harper's life became intertwined with the shadows of organized crime, as she found herself caught up in a complex web of deceit and danger. Her parents had always been protective of her, but they could never have anticipated what would happen when their son decided to expose them to this dark world. Harper's journey towards healing began with the loss of her family members at the hands of those same bullies. The trauma left an indelible mark on her psyche, driving her to seek solace and a sense of purpose in fighting against injustice. She discovered that she had the ability to empathize deeply with others who were affected by crime and felt compelled to use her platform as a witness protection asset to make a difference. At first, Harper worked closely with law enforcement agencies to gather information about the criminal syndicate involved in her case. But as she delved deeper into their operations, she realized that there was much more going on than just illegal activities. The organization had infiltrated every aspect of society, from politics and religion to entertainment and art. One day, while working undercover at a popular music festival, Harper discovered an alarming plot involving the murder of several young women. She quickly connected with Jake, another witness protection asset who shared her passion for justice, and together they began investigating the crime scene. As they delved deeper into the investigation, Harper uncovered evidence that suggested not only involvement from within law enforcement, but also from powerful individuals in high-ranking positions of government and business. The more she learned about their dark secrets, the more determined she became to bring them to justice. With Jake's help, Harper exposed a network of corrupt officials who had been protecting these criminals for years, earning the respect and admiration of her fellow witnesses. However, not everyone was happy with her actions, as they threatened everything that Harper stood for and feared retaliation from those in power. Harper knew she couldn't do this alone, so she reached out to other survivors like herself, seeking their support and guidance on how to navigate this dangerous landscape. Together, they formed an unlikely alliance, using their skills and unique perspectives to bring down the criminal syndicate once and for all. As Harper's investigation continued, she faced numerous challenges along the way, including physical threats from those who wanted her silenced and emotional turmoil as she struggled with the consequences of her actions. But through it all, she remained steadfast in her commitment to justice and refused to be intimidated by anyone or anything that stood in their way. The climax arrived when Harper finally uncovered a massive conspiracy involving high-ranking officials within law enforcement agencies themselves, revealing a dark truth about how these powerful individuals had been using the witness protection system as cover for their own criminal activities. With this information in hand, she worked tirelessly to gather evidence and present it before a federal grand jury. The trial was long and grueling, but Harper's determination paid off when a key witness stepped forward to testify against her former colleagues. Their testimony proved beyond doubt that the corrupt officials involved were responsible for countless deaths, including those of young women who had been targeted by their organization. With this evidence in hand, the federal government brought charges against several high-ranking officials and arrested them on multiple counts of conspiracy and murder. Harper became a symbol of hope and inspiration to survivors like her, inspiring others to take action against injustice and fight for what was right. As the case came to an end, Harper's journey towards healing had taken another significant step forward. She no longer felt alone in her battle against crime, knowing that she was not just fighting for herself, but also a community of individuals who had been affected by this dark world. With newfound strength and resilience, Harper returned home with renewed purpose, using her platform to raise awareness about the importance of justice and taking on corruption wherever it exists. She became an advocate for victims' rights, speaking out against injustice in all its forms and inspiring others to join the fight against crime. In the end, Harper's journey had not been easy, but she emerged stronger and more determined than ever before. Her experience had taught her that even when faced with adversity, one must never give up hope or turn their backs on those who need them most. And so, as she looked back on her life's journey, Harper knew that the fight against crime would continue for generations to come, but she was ready to take it head-on, no matter what challenges lay ahead. Global outline. Harper Mills, a quiet foster kid living in rural Pennsylvania, embarks on her third day riding the bus when she becomes the target of bullies Preston and Jake, who are part of a notorious crime syndicate that operates in the town. The trio relentlessly harasses Harper for no apparent reason, leaving her feeling vulnerable and alone. Despite their relentless attempts to make her feel small, Harper manages to stay calm under pressure by hiding her true identity as a federal witness protection asset tied to major criminal takedowns. This newfound vulnerability enables her to speak out against the syndicate's corrupt practices, raising awareness about the need for justice in a world where crime often goes unchecked. With each passing day, Harper gains strength and courage in her fight against crime. She becomes an advocate for victims' rights, using her platform as a public speaker to challenge injustice and inspire others to join the battle against corruption. As she delves deeper into the syndicate's operations, Harper uncovers a shocking truth that shakes her understanding of what it means to be a good person. The revelation causes Harper immense distress as she realizes the depth of the crime network involved in her community. She becomes determined not only to bring these criminals down, but also to prevent similar acts from happening to others who might fall victim to their schemes. This leads her on an arduous journey, filled with danger and adversity, as she navigates the treacherous world of organized crime. Alongside Preston and Jake, Harper forms a powerful alliance with other individuals fighting against the syndicate's illegal activities. Together, they form a vigilante group known as the Redemption Squad, dedicated to exposing the corrupt members and bringing justice for those affected by their crimes. As the team grows stronger, they uncover evidence of widespread corruption in various industries, from pharmaceuticals to financial services. The quest for justice becomes more challenging than ever as Harper's investigations lead her deeper into a web of deceit, betrayal, and power struggles. She encounters obstacles at every turn, including threats to her own safety and the lives of others who might be involved in the criminal underworld. As tensions rise within the Redemption Squad, Harper must confront her personal demons and make difficult choices that test not only her strength, but also her moral compass. Alongside these external challenges, she grapples with a growing sense of disillusionment with the system itself, questioning whether it truly represents justice or serves as a cover for powerful elite interests. Ultimately, Harper's determination to expose the truth about organized crime forces her to confront her own past and make choices that will shape her future. Through her journey, she learns valuable lessons about courage, integrity, and standing up against corruption in all its forms. The next logical beats from the outline can be: as the Redemption Squad continues their investigation into the syndicate's activities, they uncover a shocking secret that exposes a powerful political figure involved in the criminal underworld. This revelation not only raises concerns for Harper, but also puts her own life at risk as she risks becoming a target of assassination or even retaliation. With this newfound information and the threat to her safety, Harper must decide whether to stay true to her mission and continue fighting against crime, risking everything to bring down the corrupt figures behind it. Alternatively, she can choose to collaborate with this powerful figure in an attempt to dismantle their criminal empire from within. As the Redemption Squad grapples with these complex choices, they face numerous challenges that test their resolve and loyalty. They must navigate treacherous terrain, confront dangerous enemies, and overcome personal demons as they work towards a common goal, exposing the truth about organized crime and restoring justice in their community. Harper's journey takes her to unexpected places, where she encounters individuals from different walks of life with varying backgrounds and perspectives. These encounters force her to question her own beliefs and values, inspiring her to broaden her understanding of the world and seek a more inclusive and just society. Alongside these personal journeys, the Redemption Squad continues their mission to expose corruption in various industries, putting pressure on those responsible for the crime network's activities. As they gather evidence against powerful figures within the criminal underworld, Harper must grapple with the ethical implications of exposing such secrets while ensuring that justice is served. The narrative reaches its climax as Harper and her team successfully bring down one of the syndicate's key members through a daring raid on their hideout. This victory not only brings closure to their investigations, but also exposes the depth of corruption within the criminal underworld, inspiring others across the country to join the fight against crime. The final logical beats from the outline can be: as the Redemption Squad celebrates their successful mission, they reflect on their journey and its impact on their community. They recognize that it was not a single individual's efforts, but rather the collective effort of countless individuals who stood together in defense of justice. In celebration of this victory, Harper embarks on a new chapter in her life, using her platform as an advocate for victims' rights to inspire others facing similar challenges. She becomes involved in community programs that provide support and resources to those affected by crime, fostering understanding, empathy, and unity among individuals who once were vulnerable. As the Redemption Squad continues their work against organized crime, Harper's legacy lives on through the countless acts of bravery, resilience, and justice they have inspired. Their tireless efforts serve as a shining beacon for others to follow in her footsteps, reminding them that even when faced with adversity, one must never give up hope or turn back on those who need them most. The narrative concludes by highlighting Harper's unwavering commitment to the fight against crime and her enduring spirit of determination. She stands tall as an example of a true hero, inspiring others to rise above their circumstances and work towards creating a world where justice is served for all. The third day of her bus ride, Harper Mills found herself at the end of a long and lonely journey. As she sat on the seat in front of a group of teenagers who had been bullying her for months, the sight of them gathered around her was enough to make any hardened soul shudder with fear. The once bright-eyed and curious foster kid now looked pale and shell-shocked, as though nothing could bring comfort or relief. Suddenly, she felt an unexpected presence in the midst of the commotion. It was a figure dressed in black and carrying a briefcase, standing tall and unassuming amidst the chaos. As the stranger approached her, Harper's heart raced with anticipation and fear. "Hello," said the man, extending his hand out in greeting. "My name is Jack, and I work for the Redemption Squad." Harper looked at him warily, but then felt a sense of familiarity wash over her as she remembered his signature smile and stern demeanor from earlier on. He had been one of the members who had protected her during her witness protection case against organized crime. "I'm Harper," she replied, trying to maintain composure despite the fear that threatened to consume her at every turn. "I've been a victim of violence for as long as I can remember." Jack nodded in understanding. "Yes, it's not easy being a child who's always on the run and facing danger. But you're doing something incredible today," he said, gesturing towards Harper with his hand. She felt a surge of gratitude wash over her as she realized that someone was genuinely concerned about her well-being and wanted to do everything in their power to help. She looked up at Jack, feeling tears prickling in her eyes as she took stock of the events leading up to this moment. In an attempt to regain control of her emotions, Harper focused on her breathing and tried to steady herself before continuing with her story. My parents were murdered by a notorious gang that operated across multiple states, she began, sharing the details of their lives and the violence they had endured as foster children. Despite the trauma they faced every day, however, Harper refused to let it define her. I knew from a young age that I was different, she explained softly. I couldn't understand why my parents' killers were getting away with such heinous crimes for so long. And when the Redemption Squad came into our lives, everything changed. Jack listened intently as Harper spoke, his eyes flickering across the room to catch every detail of her story. He nodded in agreement and then asked a question that sent shivers down her spine. What did you do while on witness protection? Harper hesitated for a moment before answering truthfully. I worked undercover with the Redemption Squad, she said, feeling a weight lift from her shoulders as she realized the full extent of her bravery and dedication to justice. It wasn't easy being part of an illegal organization, Harper continued, but I knew that my story had to be told, and that's what led me here today. Jack nodded in understanding once again before asking another question. How have you used your experience to inspire others? Harper took a deep breath, feeling a surge of pride bubble up within her as she shared the impact the Redemption Squad has had on her life and the lives of those they have protected. I've been involved in community programs that provide support and resources to victims of crime, Harper explained. I work with educators who help students identify their strengths and build resilience. And I also mentor young people from marginalized communities who might feel like giving up hope. Jack nodded eagerly as he listened intently, feeling a sense of admiration for the kind-hearted individual she was. He couldn't help but wonder what other paths Harper might have taken had she not become an advocate for justice. I'm proud to see that you're using your platform to make a difference, Jack said, his voice filled with gratitude and respect. It takes great strength and courage to stand up against adversity and fight for something greater than yourself. Harper smiled weakly at him, feeling grateful for the recognition she had earned from someone who truly cared about her. I know that I still have a long way to go, Harper said softly, taking a deep breath before continuing with her story. But I'm determined to keep fighting and never give up hope. As she stood there in front of the Redemption Squad, Harper felt a renewed sense of purpose wash over her as she vowed to continue using her voice for good, inspiring others to rise above their circumstances and work towards creating a world where justice is served for all. She knew that the road ahead would be filled with challenges and obstacles, but through it all, she remained steadfast in her commitment to fighting against crime and making a difference in the lives of those who needed it most. The third day of her bus ride, quiet foster kid Harper Mills was feeling a mix of emotions. On one hand, she felt nervous and anxious as the bullies Preston and Jake continued to taunt and torment her, making it clear that they saw her for who she really was, a federal witness protection asset tied to major crime syndicate takedowns. Despite their efforts, Harper remained composed and focused on staying vigilant. She had learned from previous experiences how to navigate these situations with grace and resilience, relying on her quick thinking and strategic approach to outmaneuver the bullies and stay one step ahead of them. As she boarded the bus that morning, Harper took a deep breath and mentally prepared herself for what was about to unfold. The first stop would take her to witness a high-profile murder case in the city's downtown area, where the crime lord known as the Dragon had been gunned down by his own bodyguard. Harper arrived at the scene of the shooting with confidence and determination, her heart pounding with anticipation for what lay ahead. She quickly went through her security briefings and made a plan to blend in with the crowd while also staying alert for any potential threats or dangers. As she walked around the crime scene, Harper observed the chaos that surrounded her. The streets were deserted save for a few reporters, photographers, and law enforcement officers huddled together at the site, their eyes fixed on the dragon's body as it lay lifeless in his front lawn. Harper knew that this was an opportunity to make a real impact on the case and bring closure to the victims' families. She approached one of the journalists, who had been covering the story for weeks, and introduced herself with a warm smile. "Hello there," she said, her voice carrying across the room as she pulled out her notepad and began jotting down notes about the details of the crime and the evidence gathered so far. The journalist, named Sarah, was intrigued by Harper's dedication to the case. She had followed the dragon for years, always reporting on his activities and bringing attention to their criminal empire in the media. As they talked, Harper explained her role as a witness protection asset, how she worked with federal agencies to protect witnesses from harm while also gathering information about the dragon's organization. Sarah nodded thoughtfully as Harper spoke, asking questions about her background and training that had prepared her for this assignment. She learned that Harper was born in rural Texas and grew up on the outskirts of a major city. Her parents were both former police officers who instilled in her a strong sense of justice and dedication to fighting against crime. Despite the challenges she faced as a witness protection agent, Harper remained undeterred by the odds stacked against her. She knew that the Dragon's organization was powerful and well-connected, but with perseverance and intelligence, she believed she could outsmart their tactics and uncover the truth behind the murder case. As Sarah listened to Harper's story, she couldn't help but feel a sense of admiration for the young woman who had taken on this daunting task. She knew that it would not be easy to crack the dragon's empire, but with her intelligence, wit, and unwavering commitment, Harper was determined to succeed. Over time, Harper continued to gather information about the dragon's organization, using all of her skills and resources to stay one step ahead of the bullies. She relied on her network of informants, who had been embedded within the dragon's inner circle for years, to provide valuable insights into their operations and strategies. One day, as Harper was walking through a crowded park, she noticed an old man sitting at a bench, lost in thought. Her intuition told her that this could be the key moment in her mission to bring justice to the victims' families. Without hesitation, Harper approached him and introduced herself with a warm smile. "Excuse me," she said, holding out her hand. "I'm here to help you if there's anything I can do." The old man looked up at her with surprise and gratitude. He had known the dragon for years, but he never imagined that someone would come forward to protect his family from the very person they loved. "Thank you," the man said, looking around nervously before speaking again. "You know, I've been through a lot lately." Harper listened carefully as the old man explained about the dragon's ruthless tactics and the violence he had inflicted on members of his organization, leaving many families shattered and traumatized. "I understand your pain," Harper replied softly, her heart heavy with sadness for all those who had lost loved ones in this senseless battle. "And I want to help you find peace." The old man looked at her skeptically at first, but then he nodded slowly, his expression softening as he realized that Harper was serious about what she was trying to do. "I'll tell you everything," the old man said finally, handing over a letter from the dragon's lawyer. "I've been protecting my family for years, and they have nothing left except their memories of him." Harper read the letter carefully, her eyes filling with tears as she realized that this was the evidence needed to bring closure to the case and put an end to the dragon's reign of terror. With renewed determination, Harper began working tirelessly to gather more information about the dragon's organization and his inner circle. She used all of her skills and resources to stay one step ahead of their tactics and uncover the truth behind their criminal empire. Through sheer grit and determination, Harper was able to bring down the Dragons organization once and for all, earning the respect and admiration of those who had been affected by their reign of terror. She knew that the journey ahead would not be easy, but she remained committed to fighting against crime and making a difference in the lives of others. As Harper sat back on her bus ride after completing her case, she felt a sense of pride and fulfillment knowing that she had made a real impact on the world. Despite the challenges and obstacles she faced along the way, she knew that with perseverance and determination, anything was possible if one remained true to their values and commitment to making a difference in the lives of others. As she looked out at her fellow passengers, Harper smiled widely, knowing that she had been chosen for this incredible opportunity. She would continue to use her voice as a witness protection agent, inspiring others to stand up against adversity and fight for something greater than themselves, ensuring that justice was served for all. Harper's legacy, a tale of witness protection and justice on her third day riding the bus. Harper Mills found herself embroiled in a world unlike any she had ever experienced before. She was not an ordinary foster kid like many others on board, but rather a federal witness protection asset tied to major crime syndicates that were wreaking havoc across the country. Preston and Jake, two local bullies who preyed upon E.T. children for their own personal gain, became her new targets as she made her way through the buses. As Harper began to notice the boys' attention towards her, she knew something was not right. She had always been a curious child who loved to ask questions and explore the world around her, but lately it seemed like they were only interested in her for their own amusement. Harper tried to remain calm and collected as the bullies continued taunting her with racial slurs and threatening to harm her if she didn't comply. However, deep down, she knew that this was not an ordinary situation. The Dragon-S organization had a reputation of using violence and intimidation to silence their enemies, leaving no one untouched. As Harper sat in her seat, the bus's conductor arrived at her stop with a stern expression on his face. He informed her that they were transporting her back to headquarters for further questioning, as she was believed to be an active witness who could help solve several high-profile cases involving prominent figures in the criminal underworld. With a deep breath, Harper took control of the situation and calmly explained to the conductor how the Dragon-S organization had targeted her due to her connection with their operations. She described the evidence that led them to believe she was a key player in a major crime syndicate's dismantling plan, which involved the theft of large amounts of cash and assets from banks. The conductor listened intently, his eyes widening as he realized the gravity of Harper's situation. He knew firsthand how powerful criminal organizations could be, with resources that were beyond anyone else's imagination. The Dragon-S organization was notorious for its ruthless tactics and willingness to eliminate any obstacle in their way to achieve their goals. Despite being a witness protection asset, Harper had been given special clearance from the authorities to work closely with them. She understood that this meant putting herself at risk every step of the way, but she knew it also meant doing her part in protecting not only the innocent, but also those who were vulnerable due to the criminal activities committed by the organization. As the bus drove through town and out into the countryside, Harper's mind raced with thoughts about what lay ahead. She knew that there would be challenges along the way, whether they came from personal attacks or legal proceedings related to her testimony. But she also had a deep sense of purpose driving her forward, to make a difference in the world by exposing the truth and bringing justice to those who were affected. As the bus pulled up at the designated checkpoint, Harper was met with the sight of multiple federal agents standing outside. They recognized her immediately as the key witness they needed for their investigation into the Dragons organization. With a heavy heart, she made her way through the crowd, aware that there would be consequences if she were to fail. As she entered the headquarters building, Harper felt overwhelmed by the sheer scale of the operation. She was greeted by top-ranking officials from both law enforcement and intelligence agencies who praised her bravery and dedication in uncovering the truth behind the Dragon's activities. They explained how their investigation had led them to a network of powerful individuals involved in criminal organizations, including some with connections to high-profile politicians and celebrities. With each new revelation, Harper felt a sense of pride wash over her as she realized that her testimony was not just about protecting herself, but also about bringing justice to those who were affected by the illegal activities committed by the Dragons organization. She knew that it would take time for them to gather enough evidence to bring down their operations and dismantle the criminal empire, but with perseverance and determination, anything was possible. As Harper sat in her office, surrounded by legal professionals and experts from various agencies, she felt a sense of hope wash over her once again. Despite facing countless obstacles and challenges along the way, she knew that she had taken the first step towards making a positive impact on the world. She vowed to continue fighting against crime and injustice, using her voice as a witness protection agent to inspire others to stand up for what is right and make their own voices heard. With this newfound sense of purpose and determination in me. Indeed, Harper continued to work tirelessly alongside law enforcement agencies to bring the Dragons organization down one by one. She faced personal attacks from those who opposed her testimony, and even had to fight against powerful forces that would stop at nothing to protect the truth. But she refused to be deterred, knowing that it was only through exposing the truth that justice could truly be served. Over time, Harper's work paid off as the Dragon's organization began to crumble under the weight of their own greed and power struggles. They were forced to abandon multiple bank accounts, flee across borders, and dismantle their operations in a matter of weeks. With each successful case, Harper felt a sense of pride wash over her, knowing that she had played an important role in bringing down one of the most powerful criminal organizations on Earth. As Harper looked back at all that she had accomplished so far, she knew that it was not just about making a difference in the world, but also about fulfilling a dream. She had always been passionate about justice and fighting for what is right, no matter how daunting the challenges may seem. And with each passing day, her legacy continued to grow as she inspired others around the globe to stand up against crime and injustice and make their voices heard. In the end, Harper's story serves as a reminder that even in the face of adversity and opposition, it is possible to use one's voice for good and fight tirelessly towards justice. She may have been a witness protection agent, but more than anything else, she was an inspiration, a beacon of hope for those who were fighting against the forces of darkness. Harper's legacy will continue to evolve as her story unfolds, inspiring others to take action and make their own voices heard in a world that is often plagued by crime and injustice. Through it all, Harper remains steadfast in her commitment to protecting the innocent, using her voice to bring justice to those who have been affected by criminal activities. And with every case she solves, Harper's legacy becomes one of hope, determination, and courage, reminding us that anything is possible if we believe in something greater than ourselves and work tirelessly towards making a positive impact on the world around us. Global outline. Harper Mills, a quiet foster kid living in a small town on the outskirts of America, becomes embroiled in a dangerous conspiracy involving major crime syndicate takedowns. On her third day riding the bus, Harper's life takes an unexpected turn when she is suddenly attacked by two bullies named Preston and Jake. She tries to shield herself with her backpack, but it only serves as a distraction for them. As the situation escalates, Harper realizes that she may not be in danger after all. The attack was just part of a larger plot orchestrated by the crime syndicate, who were using her as a pawn in their ongoing operations against an unsuspecting target. Asterisk with no other options but to stay hidden and continue monitoring the situation from a safe distance. Harper becomes determined to expose the truth about what is going on. She delves deeper into the conspiracy's workings, interviewing witnesses, gathering evidence, and piecing together clues that point towards her own involvement in some of the criminal activities. Asterisk as she continues her investigation, Harper discovers that she has been targeted for a personal reason. Her family had stumbled upon an illegal drug trade operation that was being run by one of the crime syndicate's top leaders. Her brother, who was also involved with the organization, became disillusioned and turned against his own father to take down their empire. Asterisk Harper's brother, realizing the gravity of what he had done, becomes a key player in the plot against the crime syndicate. He infiltrates their ranks as an undercover agent, using her expertise in witness protection to gain access to valuable information about their operations and plans for taking down the organization. Asterisk as the trial for Harper's brother unfolds, she realizes that there is more at stake than just one criminal case. The conspiracy involves a web of deceit, corruption, and violence that stretches across multiple countries, involving international crime syndicates with deep roots in politics, business, and finance. Asterisk with the help of her brother and other intelligence agents, Harper uncovers evidence linking the crime syndicate to numerous high-profile crimes, including drug trafficking, arms trade, money laundering, and political manipulation. She also discovers that one of their top leaders is a former government official who has been involved in illegal activities for years. Asterisk the trial becomes a complex and dangerous game of cat and mouse as Harper tries to expose the truth while avoiding capture by both the crime syndicate and her own brother's henchmen. Along the way, she faces numerous obstacles, including assassination attempts, betrayal from within, and personal danger at every turn. Asterisk as the trial reaches its climax, Harper confronts one of the key players in the conspiracy, a high-ranking member who had been working for the crime syndicate all along but was now caught red-handed. In a dramatic showdown, Harper exposes their plot to the world and takes down their leader, revealing that they were behind it all. Asterisk with the criminal organization dismantled, Harper becomes a hero in her community, hailed as a symbol of justice and resilience against adversity. She uses her platform to raise awareness about witness protection, advocating for change in policies and laws that protect whistleblowers from retaliation or harm. Asterisk in the aftermath of the trial, Harper reflects on her journey and what she has learned. She realizes that even when faced with overwhelming odds and danger, it is possible to use one's voice for good and fight tirelessly towards justice. She continues to work as a witness protection agent, using her expertise in identifying and protecting vulnerable individuals who are at risk of being targeted by criminals or other oppressive forces. Asterisk Harper's story serves as an inspiration to others, inspiring them to stand up against injustice, use their voices for change, and fight tirelessly towards justice. She becomes a role model, helping countless people overcome adversity, find hope, and make a positive impact on the world around them. Chunks 1. Harper's third day riding the bus. Asterisk quiet foster kid Harper Mills asterisk unexpected attack by two bullies named Preston and Jake. Background. Asterisk she tries to shield herself with her backpack, but it only serves as a distraction for them asterisk realization that she may not be in danger after all asterisk delves deeper into the conspiracy's workings, interviewing witnesses, gathering evidence, and piecing together clues that point towards her own involvement in some of the criminal activities. 2. Harper discovers her family's illegal drug trade operation. Asterisk's brother, who is also involved with the organization, becomes disillusioned and turned against his father. Asterisk infiltrates their ranks as an undercover agent. Background: Asterisk uses her expertise in witness protection to gain access to valuable information about their operations and plans for taking down the organization. 3. The trial for Harper's brother unfolds. Asterisk complex and dangerous game of cat and mouse. Asterisk evidence linking the crime syndicate to numerous high-profile crimes, including drug trafficking, arms trade, money laundering, and political manipulation. Background: Asterisk, one of their top leaders, is a former government official who has been involved in illegal activities for years. 4. The trial reaches its climax. Asterisk confrontation with key player. Asterisk exposes their plot to the world and takes down their leader. Action. 5. Harper becomes a hero in her community, hailed as a symbol of justice and resilience against adversity. Asterisk uses platform to raise awareness about witness protection, advocating for change in policies and laws that protect whistleblowers from retaliation or harm. 6. In the aftermath of the trial, Asterisk reflects on journey. Asterisk what she has learned. Background. 7. Harper continues to work as a witness protection agent. Asterisk using her expertise in identifying and protecting vulnerable individuals who are at risk of being targeted by criminals or other oppressive forces. End. Harper Mill's story is an inspiring tale that showcases the power of perseverance, courage, and determination against adversity. Her journey from a quiet foster kid to becoming a powerful witness protection agent serves as a reminder that even when faced with seemingly insurmountable obstacles, it is possible to use one's voice for good and fight tirelessly towards justice. In Harper's third day on the bus, she found herself in an unexpected situation when two bullies named Preston and Jake targeted her. She tried to shield herself from their attack, but only served as a distraction, allowing them to proceed with their plan. As the incident unfolded, Harper realized that she was not truly at risk for harm. It was merely part of a larger conspiracy involving major crime syndicate takedowns. With no other options than to remain hidden and continue monitoring the situation from afar, Harper delved deeper into the conspiracy's workings, interviewing witnesses, gathering evidence, and piecing together clues. Her investigation revealed that she had been targeted for personal reasons. Her family stumbled upon an illegal drug trade operation run by one of the crime syndicate's top leaders. Her brother became a key player in the plot against the organization, infiltrating their ranks as an undercover agent with Harper's expertise in witness protection. Together, they gained valuable information about the drug trafficking, arms trade, money laundering, and political manipulation that were at the heart of the conspiracy. The trial for Harper's brother was a complex and dangerous game of cat and mouse, filled with evidence linking the crime syndicate to numerous high-profile crimes. One of their top leaders was a former government official who had been involved in illegal activities for years. The trial became pivotal as it exposed the truth about their involvement and led to the dismantling of the organization. In the aftermath of the trial, Harper emerged as a hero in her community, hailed as a symbol of justice and resilience against adversity. Her platform was used to raise awareness about witness protection, advocating for change in policies and laws that protect whistleblowers from retaliation or harm. She worked tirelessly alongside intelligence agents to identify and protect vulnerable individuals who were at risk of being targeted by criminals or other oppressive forces. Harper's journey serves as a testament to the power of perseverance, courage, and determination against adversity. Despite facing numerous obstacles along the way, assassination attempts, betrayal from within, personal danger, Harper never gave up on her mission to expose the truth and bring justice to those affected by criminal activities. As she continues to work as a witness protection agent, Harper's legacy serves as an inspiration to others, showcasing their ability to use their voices for change and fight tirelessly towards justice. Her story reminds us that even when faced with seemingly insurmountable odds and danger, it is possible to use one's voice for good and make a positive impact on the world around them. In conclusion, Harper Mills' tale serves as an inspiring narrative of resilience, courage, and determination against adversity. Through her journey from a quiet foster kid to becoming a powerful witness protection agent, she proves that anyone can rise above challenges and use their voice to fight tirelessly towards justice, even in the face of overwhelming odds and danger. Her legacy will continue to evolve as her story unfolds, inspiring others to take action and make their own voices heard in a world that is often plagued by crime and injustice. EXT, City Street. Day the bustling city street was alive with activity, cars honking and people rushing to their destinations. A quiet foster kid named Harper Mills sat on the bus, her attention focused solely on the unfolding events in front of her. As she rode through the crowded streets, Harper's heart raced with excitement and anticipation as she prepared for an event that would change her life forever. Suddenly, a group of bullies approached her from behind, their faces twisted with malice and aggression. Preston, one of them, snarled at Harper in front of the other students, his voice filled with venomous whispers. Jake, another bully, sneered derisively as he reached out to grab Harper's arm. "Huh, you're a witness protection asset? What are you doing on this bus?" Jake taunted her, his eyes gleaming with malice and determination. Harper remained calm, deftly dodging the bully's attacks. She had faced similar challenges before in her past as a foster kid, but she was not one to give up easily. As she spoke, she revealed that she was working for a federal agency called Justice Shield, which specialized in protecting witnesses from criminal activities. Preston and Jake's eyes widened with shock at Harper's revelation. They had heard of the agency before, but they never imagined it would be related to their own lives or the crimes they were investigating. The bullies' expressions changed as they realized that Harper was not a threat, but rather an asset who could help them bring down major criminal syndicates. Preston sneered at her again and taunted her further. "You think you can save us? That's just more proof of your inability to stop criminals. We've been watching you for months now, and we have enough evidence to take down these corrupt officials." Jake chimed in with a smirk, his words dripping with sarcasm as he continued. "You're not the only one who has fallen victim to their schemes. Your family was targeted too. Your friends lost loved ones in their crimes. You've been hiding out for far too long now, but you can't escape justice. We will find you and bring down this criminal empire once and for all." Harper's heart pounded with fear as she realized the magnitude of the situation they were facing. She knew that her mission was not just about protecting herself or the others, but also about exposing the truth to the world and inspiring others to stand up against injustice. As she spoke, Harper looked around at the other passengers on the bus, many of whom had been bullied in their own lives before becoming witnesses protection agents like her. They listened intently as she described her experience working with the Justice Shield, emphasizing its importance in safeguarding witnesses from criminal activities and providing them with support when they need it. One girl named Emily spoke up. "I've always dreamed of being a witness protection agent too, but I never imagined that my life would be on the line. Thank you for sharing your story, Harper. It's given me hope that there are others like us who can make a difference." Another boy named Jack chimed in. "You're not alone, Harper. We've all been through tough times, and we know what it takes to stand up against injustice. I'm proud of the work you do, even if it means facing danger and adversity." As they spoke, Harper felt a sense of camaraderie among them, knowing that she was not alone in her fight for justice. She knew that their stories would inspire others to join forces with the Justice Shield and use their voices to bring about change. The bus ride continued on, as the bullies continued taunting Harper, but also discussing ways they could work together to take down the criminal syndicates. They agreed to meet outside of the bus station at a nearby coffee shop for an informal meeting to discuss their strategy and gather more information. As the day wore on, Harper's nerves began to fray, but she remained determined to continue her mission. She knew that this was not just about protecting herself. It was also about shining light on the truth and inspiring others to join forces with those who would stand up against injustice. Outside of the coffee shop, they met at a busy intersection, surrounded by parked cars and people rushing past them. The air was thick with tension as they waited for their chance to make an impact. Suddenly, one of the bullies stepped forward, his eyes fixed on Harper's face. He sneered derisively. "You think you can stop us now? We have a plan." Harper listened carefully, her heart pounding in her chest as she realized that this was not just about their current mission, but also about their future plans to take down the criminal syndicates. With renewed determination, Harper and the other bullies launched into action. They strategized together, discussing possible tactics and gathering more information from witnesses who had already been targeted by these criminals. They started by investigating the corrupt officials' personal lives, looking for any weaknesses or vulnerabilities that could be exploited to bring down their empire. As they uncovered evidence of corruption and malfeasance within the justice system, Harper knew that this was where they would need to focus their efforts. One witness named Sarah had already been targeted before, but refused to give up on her fight for justice. She spoke out about how she witnessed a brutal crime committed by one of the officials at work. Hearing Sarah's testimony, the other bullies were moved and determined to take down the corrupt official. With Sarah's help, they uncovered evidence linking this individual to several high-profile criminal cases, including a case involving an international drug ring. They presented their findings to the justice system, providing compelling evidence of corruption and malfeasance that would lead to the arrest of these officials. The investigation was long and challenging, but Harper never lost sight of her goal. She knew that they needed to gather more information from other witnesses who had been targeted by this criminal syndicate before bringing them down. With renewed determination, Harper and the others continued their mission, gathering evidence on a range of crimes committed across multiple jurisdictions. They spoke out against these criminals' activities, demanding justice for victims and holding accountable those responsible for their actions. As they worked tirelessly to bring down the criminal syndicates, Harper felt a sense of pride in her work and the impact she was making on the world around her. She knew that even when faced with overwhelming odds and danger, it is possible to use one's voice for good and make a positive impact on the world through their actions. In conclusion, Harper Mill's story serves as an inspiring narrative of resilience, courage, and determination against adversity. Through her journey from a quiet foster kid to becoming a powerful witness protection agent, she proves that anyone can rise above challenges and use their voice to fight tirelessly towards justice, even in the face of overwhelming odds and danger. Her legacy will continue to evolve as her story unfolds, inspiring others to take action and make their own voices heard in a world that is often plagued by crime and injustice. Harper's bravery and determination have not gone unnoticed, and she has become an inspiration for many who seek justice and stand up against corruption. As they work together with the Justice Shield to bring down these criminal syndicates and expose the truth to the world, Harper will continue to serve as a shining beacon of hope in a world that can be filled with darkness and despair. In the final segment of Harper Mill's story, She embarks on a mission to dismantle the criminal syndicate that has terrorized her town and its residents for years. As she delves deeper into their operations, she uncovers a web of corruption and deceit that reaches far beyond the borders of her city. The Justice Shield, an elite team of law enforcement officials and federal agents who specialize in witness protection and crime solving, is brought on board to help Harper unravel the mystery. The first step in the investigation is for Harper to gather evidence against the syndicate's leaders, including key figures like the ruthless drug lord known as the Boss. As she delves into their dark underworld, Harper discovers that the Boss has not only made a fortune off illegal activities, but also manipulated his associates and sympathizers into providing him with protection. This revelation leads her to question the credibility of the Justice Shield's mission and the motives behind it. As she continues her investigation, Harper meets a group of young activists who have formed their own community organization aimed at fighting against corruption in the town. They share similar experiences with the Boss' reign of terror and see firsthand how his operations are affecting not only innocent people, but also vulnerable communities like those of foster kids.